All right, well, welcome everyone officially to the Thursday night edition of the Crypto Arbitrage Overview. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go ahead and get started. My name is Jay Williams, and I've been trading now for about 10 years. I've got 20 plus years in the IT space. You know, that's all well and good. I came across some information from a gentleman that you're going to actually hear from tonight. And so what we want to do is we want to just give you a quick overview before we bring him in, because I promise you, this gentleman has a lot more information to share and is a lot more qualified than me. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get started. But first, let's just have a quick disclaimer. Gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, the presentation right here is actually provided as information only. It should not be taken as investment advice. This content shall be not construed as a recommendation to buy or sell any security or financial product or participate in any trading or investment strategy. I am not a broker. Nor am I an attorney, but I'm just someone that found some information and I took action on it. And honestly, it's been amazing ride. And so, you know, that being said, let's just jump right in very quickly. All right, what is crypto? Crypto is simply sometimes referred to as cryptocurrency. It's any form of currency that exists digitally or virtually, and it uses cryptography to secure those transactions. Most of you have heard of it. If you haven't, you will tonight. Now, what is arbitrage? It's a very fancy word that simply means the simultaneous purchase and sale of the same asset in different markets in order to profit from those tiny differences in the asset's listed price. And tonight, we're going to be talking specifically about one cryptocurrency, one token. It's called Tether, USD Tether. It's specifically the TRC20 that rides on the Tron blockchain. That's the currency that we're going to be talking about tonight. And so I'm actually going to turn it over now, because this was just a brief overview. I want you guys to get the real meat and potatoes. Now, my business partner, my upline, my mentor, and good friend, David Smith, I'm going to bring him on because he has a relationship with this gentleman, and he can actually speak to that. So, David, if you're on, please go ahead and launch our special guest tonight. Thank you.
Hey, Jay, that was amazing, man. Thanks. Everyone, you in for a real treat. This particular person I met back in December of last year, and he's just an incredible person. I'm just gleaming from his knowledge being in this space, and he's just shared this incredible opportunity, and of course, Jay and other people I've shared it with, and we all just been blessed by it. So without further ado, everyone, I want to bring on Jakin Rivera. And Jakin, if you're there, I'm going to give you, Jay, you can give him presenter rights.
All right, guys, how you guys doing? I'm glad to be here. What's up, guys?
Yeah, there you go.
All right, so I'm sharing my screen now, or
not yet?
Let me see. Okay, you let me know. So I'm really excited. Anyway, while we get that going, I'm really excited. My name is Jay. David is a really good friend, person that I met here last December. Awesome guy, awesome influencer, very knowledgeable in some things. I usually find myself picking his brain on certain things, and I'm just thankful to God to meet him. But today it's actually even more special than what he's even talking about, because he's excited that I'm here, but I'm excited because my account hit 400K today.
Oh my.
So I just want, to share that excitement. And if you're excited for me, man, just put some fire emojis in that text thing right there. Put some fire emojis down. All right. And we're going to go ahead and see if I can start sharing the screen soon. It's not. All right, cool. All right, let's go to my server. There it is, guys. Woo! Let's go.
400K.
404K, guys. 404K, guys. So that is really, really exciting. I am so glad to be able to share this excitement with you all. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mute. There you guys go, man. 404K. I am excited. I am stoked. Honestly, I can't wait till this thing hits 1 million. What is my vision for this platform? I think that because my buddies out in Dubai are running 4 to 9 million. Each of these guys, they're close buddies, and then they're about 5 My buddy's buddy, which I'll tell you about in a little bit, he has about 4.6 million. So I want to get on that level. So once I hit the 1 million, I'm going to be even more excited than when I am today. But guys, you know what? Before I even start, I want to go ahead and just give you 5 principles on how to approach these markets, these financial markets that we're dealing with. Call it crypto, call it Forex, call it metals, futures, binaries, options. It doesn't matter. Any of the opportunities that are presented in this market are relatively high risk. Okay. And so we have to do certain things to approach this market in a certain way, which will lower the risk for us and give us an opportunity to make some good money while it lasts. So the first one is do your due diligence. So doing your due diligence will minimize the risk. So there's a lot of hype out there nowadays. You got YouTubers, bloggers, you got all kind of people popping up saying, you know, getting people excited about this or that. And if we're not careful and we just jump in on certain things without really investigating, then, you know, we're more than likely to experience a rug pull or something that's not going to last very long. And so by doing our due diligence, we minimize that risk. Okay. In these financial markets, out of my experience, and I tell you, I've been investing in these markets for about 8 years already. And I've yet to see something last that long. And what I can tell you is the things that I know that have are making like 10, 15% a month. So when I'm talking about these high risk opportunities, you know, it's those opportunities that you have to watch out for because they seem attractive and they look great. And some of them are really great. When you really look and dig deep, you can and will find that, okay, you know what, I can probably rock out with this. And you know, as long as until the wheels fall off, like I say, I'm gonna rock out with this until the wheels fall off. So I have a team, a network that I've built during these 8 years, about 20K followers or so. And they get into whatever I get into because they know I dig deep. So when I say do your due diligence, what I mean is, like, of course, if you're following David and David is following us and we're all in this team together, you guys really have too much to worry about as long as you get in on time. You feel me? Because I'm always looking into these things. And yeah, sometimes I'll find certain little things that to me are insignificant and I'm willing to go ahead and put them out. But that's why I also classify some of the opportunities that I present or add to my portfolio. I'll add them in and I'll say, you know, I consider this to be low to mid risk, mid to high risk. This is high risk, you know, according to the due diligence and my experience in the 8 years. So when I say do your due diligence, if you're going to go outside of David's team and seek something out on your own and try to find something to diversify in, then you want to dig. You want to dig and you want to look for website history. You want to look for when they launched, how long they've been out. You want to look for the pictures. You want to look for CEOs. Are they active on social media or anywhere that they could answer any questions? Are they reachable? You know, just certain things like, are they regulated? Who they're regulated with. You got to call the regulator. You got to find out, you know, look online, verify their regulation certificate number, call the actual regulator and find out, you know, what's the deal? Can they verify that as well? Just a number of things that you can do to just minimize the risk. And during these 8 years, this is all we do. And all my guys, they'll jump in with me wherever I go, whatever I do, they'll jump in. And the next thing you want to do is get your initial investment as soon as you can. All right. Well, actually, the next thing is really only invest what you're willing to risk, guys, because if you invest what you're willing to risk, then you're going to sleep at night, guys. You know, it's very, very important for you all to not put it all on the table. This is not a casino. If you want to go gamble, take a trip to Las Vegas, guys. Do not put the whole bag in one place. That is the most irresponsible thing that anyone can do. And I highly recommend that you only invest what you're willing to risk. You know, you take maybe 5 to 10% of your savings and you take that and you diversify with it. And once you diversify with it, whatever looks more promising than whatever, then, you get your investment back on something that's doing really good. You kind of feel it out. There's no specifics because there's so many different platforms and so many different performances and so many things to factor in, whether your funds are being locked or not, whether your funds are actually completely available or not, whether you have instant withdrawals or approved withdrawals, whether, a lot of things come into factor when you're determining how much really you're looking to risk. So you can risk between 10 and 20% of whatever you have saved up, but don't take the whole 20 and put it down in one place. Definitely, you want to spread that out a little bit. And then of course, when you go ahead and invest, the first thing you're looking for is to get that initial investment back. The moment you get back from that platform or opportunity what you put into it, you're risk-free. Now let that baby grow a bit and let it compound, and according to the performance and the platform and whatever the requirements that it has and the functionalities, then you want to go ahead and let it grow but still pull, let it grow but still pull, let it grow but still pull out. And if it gives you a solid year or a solid 2 years, then awesome. If it bellies up after that, then you're like, David, what's next? Hey, we got some good money out of that one. And if you ride down the journey of the high risk market like that, then you will definitely make a lot of money. And I'm a perfect example of how that's gone for me and my team as well. The next principle is number 4. Well, number 1, right? Do your due diligence. Number 2, only invest what you're willing to risk. Number 3, get your initial investment ASAP. All right. Number 4, make as much as you can while it lasts, which I kind of mentioned there a little bit paraphrasing. And then number 5 is understand that nothing in this market is really guaranteed. Like I mentioned before, I've been doing this for 8 years. And in the 8 years, I've come to realize and understand that nothing in this market, and I'm talking about the financial markets, because if we're talking about real estate, anyone can buy a piece of property nice and low, wait a year or 2, and then sell it off for a little more. Anyone can, buy some fixer-uppers, right? Buy a dinged up house, fix it up, make a quick 20, 30K, flip it, right? Quick flips. You can buy a franchise. I'm not talking about these long-term solid investments that are actually out there. I'm talking about the high-risk industry, this market, Forex, crypto, binaries, fortunes, options, futures, call it what you want to call it. In the financial market, you're in for a high-risk journey. And so these are the things, and this is the approach that's going to help you minimize the risk, maximize your gains, and be ready for the next thing that comes along. And some things will last you, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 months. Some things will cross that 1 year mark, cross the 2 year mark. I've seen things cross the 3 and 4 year mark, which are great. And then, things do come to a stall or a halt. And then those are the things that you have to be ready for. So when you diversify, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Then what happens is if something bellies up over here, then you still got streams of income coming up through over here on this side, and if something bellies up or gets stuck over here, then now you go ahead and look, because now it's time to look for another opportunity. Maybe you replace that one opportunity with 2 or 3, and then you go light right there, and then you keep on with the streams of income that you got going on, and then you start to understand little by little what's doing well, what's not doing as good, where you can kind of merge some money into and capitalize on the gains that you're getting at that moment. And so that's just a little bit of my story. Like I said, I started 8 years ago. I learned from Forex, or I was introduced to Forex by a good buddy of mine when I used to work as a low voltage technician for a company who did pre-wiring for a builder, who did pre-wiring on the houses before the sheetrock went up. And so he introduced me to Forex, and I started to dabble in there, and then he gave me some very good content and educational material, and I began to learn how to trade. It took me a solid year, guys. It's not an easy trade, but it took me a solid year. And so I began to provide Forex educational service. And from there, I moved up to like putting out a signal service. And then after that, about 3 years ago, I began to dabble in the automated trading industry, and I started to automate things, which I will show you something that has along the lines of automation, because this platform is an actual manual platform, but we turned it and we got some coders to do some really cool stuff, and it's completely automated now. So you can actually make money while you sleep, okay? And then, you know, I had my own prop firm, which I still do. And then we started dealing with platforms that we were running into that were very similar to the things that we were already doing. So we knew what it was. And so it made our due diligence a little bit easier than the normal person would know. So that's just a little bit about me. So how did I come across this particular platform? Well, I have a buddy who's been following in my footsteps for about 5 years or so, 5 or 6 years. So he, about maybe 2 months ago, approached me. He said, "Hey, Jay, man, I got some buddies in Dubai who spoke to me about 2 years ago and told me about this one exchange that was offering crypto arbitrage." And so, you know, at the time I was so busy doing, I don't know what, it just flew over my head. So he calls me 2 months ago and he says, "Hey, you know, how's your account doing? You know, you remember that thing I was telling you that I did?" And he goes, "Man, I don't even know. I don't remember. Flew over my head, got busy, this and that. How's it going, by the way?" So he tells him, "Well, you know, I started that account with about $5,000 and I compounded it up to about a few million. And now it's at about 4.6 million." And he said he did that in under a year. Okay. And I guess he had built some downline as well, because that helps. The platform also pays very healthy commissions for referrals. And then so he's telling my guy, he's saying that now he's got about 4.6 million in there, and he's withdrawing about 500K every weekend. And my guy just flipped his lid. "No way, no way. It can't be." And he's like, "Jay, you know, I need you to look at it. You know that I'm not trying to, you know, like get you to get under me or anything like that. I just really, this is 2 years running solid. These guys been eating, and I could have been a part of this 2 years ago. And now I feel like I missed the bus. Can you take a look at it?" So I did. And so I threw $100 at it, tested it, you know, just tested everything out. And I quickly started to realize that the platform was very, very user friendly. And so that's how I'll get into my presentation. Well, the first thing I'm going to let you know is that when you go to the home screen over here, you can actually talk to customer service, live chat, and they respond really quickly. As you can see, I've had some conversations already with them. Somebody had asked me a few things or whatever, and I just went to ask, and boom, got quick responses. And it was really friendly. It was really fast, really effective. So that gave me a good feel, right? And so if you go to the About Us section, you'll also see their regulation. You can actually copy paste this here, or go to the fincen.gov MSB, right? And you'll notice if you use their MSB registration number, it'll pull up. They're regulated with FinCEN, and FinCEN is here in the US, okay? And they are no joke, guys. One call to FinCEN with a complaint, and it opens up an FBI investigation right off the bat. So this is very good, you know, coming from this company. The company has been around for a little over 2 years. They used to be called OTC, and now they're crypto ops, right? Crypto OTC. So now this is very good to know, guys, because this gives confidence. They're regulated, even though they're a Chinese hedge fund. So what happens is, and these are the things that I explain to people. Look, when I go do my research, I'm gonna run into some things, and maybe it may be significant to other people, and then to other people it might not. Some that are, it's just because they lack a little bit of knowledge in that kind of thing. So if you have, like for example, these guys, a Chinese hedge fund, but they registered out here in the United States and applied for a FinCEN license, which gives them the ability. Now, when you look up the license, this is one of the things, and I'm just being completely transparent and giving you more or less my perspective of how I do a little bit of due diligence and out of experience. So what happens is they have a virtual office. If you go to their virtual office out in Colorado, you're not going to find any workers there that work with crypto OTC. You're not going to find anyone there. You know, it's just for registration purposes. And so what happens is, even I do this, and this is why I can tell you and I know. So my company, which I registered about 6 or 7 years ago, even though I've been in this field for 8 years, I registered it, right? And I needed a commercial address or something along the lines. So I went and got a virtual office because I didn't want to deal with the overhead, and I really was a one-man show at that time. So my offices are actually in downtown Orlando, and if you go there, it's a suite in downtown, up in a high-rise, suite 500, right? You go there, the lady at the desk, there is a lady at the desk, and if you ask for me or say my company name, they're going to tell you, Mr. Rivera is not here right now. You need to call him and make an appointment, because it's also a place where I can actually go and meet people, because they will rent out little conference rooms for me to have meetings with people if I so desire. But I'm never there. I pick up mail there from time to time. I pick up packages there from time to time. But the real reason I had a virtual office was to register my company, which I've had for years already. Okay. The second reason why you register the company is for marketing purposes. Okay. And to be able to apply for regulatory certificates such as these. And so that's the reason why they did that. Now, for example, I'm getting ready to open up my own broker, and it's going to be in St. Vincent in the Grenadines for tax purposes. And that's a non-regulated or non-jurisdictional area where regulation doesn't actually touch. But what I'm doing is I'm opening a broker out in a non-jurisdiction area, but I am applying, or I'm getting a virtual office in the US somewhere and applying for a branch in the US, so that then I can go ahead and apply for a FinCEN license, right, to get regulated. And then maybe I'll go to Canada and do the same, get a virtual office out in Canada and apply for a FinTrack license, which is the regulations they have over there, or what is it? I think it's a BSC or something. That's the other. There's another one that you need to get out there as well. Or I can go to Australia and, you know, register a virtual office over there, another branch of that broker, and apply for an ASIC license. I can go to, you know, I can do a whole bunch of things by getting a virtual office. And people get virtual offices for 3 reasons: to register, for marketing purposes, and also to apply for regulation. So the regulatory thing is very important, because it says that there's a government entity that polices and monitors the activity of that exchange or broker. And so this is very important. Now, when people look it up and they say, oh, I drove to that place and there was nobody there, or there was, you know, there was no employees of crypto OTC there, or then, you know, you have a perspective of someone who really doesn't have, you know, knowledge of knowing why or what is really going on. So they go off and make blogs and YouTube videos about this and that and whatnot. And I went myself, and these are the things that happen. So not every YouTube video is accurate. Not every blogger is accurate. They're just talking out of what they know. And honestly, they don't know much. So I'm talking to you about experience. So this is a very good and solid thing to know. Okay, so let's move it on. And like I said, it's very, very user-friendly. Now, the platform is based on crypto arbitrage, and we are arbitraging USDT. Okay, so USDT, the important thing about the USDT is that it's a stable coin. It's dollar for dollar. And so there's no real danger. Now, in a regular arbitrage, you know, you have fluctuations of price with other coins. Bitcoin moves, LTC moves, right? All these other coins, they move up and down. TRX, it moves, it fluctuates. Every second you look at it, the price has moved. So even though the arbitrage, like Jay explained in the beginning, is capitalizing on a price difference, and in the Forex world, this is exactly the same. But in the Forex world, arbitrage is a little more illegal than anything, because what it does is it takes the price of the real market, and when you get to the broker's price, there's always a 4 or 5 second lag between the real market's price and the broker's price. So when you're dealing with an arbitrage system in a Forex broker, you're seeing 5 minutes in a delay, and the arbitrage takes a buy at GBP USD because it saw the buy, and then over here A few seconds later, it buys for 5 seconds, boom, flawless, gets out, profit. And it does that over and over and over again. And it capitalizes on each pair's lag in price. When there's a big, significant lag in price, the arbitrage triggers. But in the crypto world, it is not so. It's more legal, it's more established, it's more sustainable. And what it is that the arbitrage system is plugged into different exchanges around the globe. And so USDT, even though it's a stable coin, you do get like a penny here or there in fluctuations. But another thing that happens is that somewhere, like maybe Binance has it for 5 cents more than we have it, right? Or maybe Kraken has it for 7 cents more at the moment. And so what it does is it's continually buying or selling off the actual USDT. So we have it at wholesale in the platform, and it sells it off to the highest bidder in that exchange, which they're always needing liquidity. And so that's why the business is so, it's just like masterminded, because there is need for liquidity. USDT is needed everywhere. Everyone wants to hold coin in a place where it's safe, where it doesn't fluctuate up or down. And that, my friends, is Tether. That is USDT. So that is how this company makes money. Now, what happens is, I'm going to show you right here, this white button that says immediate competition for orders. So your money will be in the wallet when you first make your deposit or whatnot, right? And then once you hit that button, right, it's going to look for a buyer. And then it's going to show you the actual deal. So if you accept it, then that's the amount you're accepting. And so pretty much you're putting that to go. I'm going to cancel it because I'm going to show you how it automates later. And so all you're doing is clicking on this button manually, right? And then you bring all your funds from the wallet balance over into the transaction area where it's working for 2 hours or so. Now, it's give or take 2 hours and 5 or 10 minutes. Sometimes it gets back in your wallet in 2 hours. Sometimes it takes 2 hours and 5, 7, 8 minutes or whatnot, something like that. By 2 hours and 10 minutes, all your money is definitely in the wallet. And so every time it gets back in your wallet, you move it back into the transaction area. Now, every time it comes back with 0.3% profit, which if you do the math, if it's doing 2 hour cycles, then you have 12 cycles in a day. Of course, like I said, if we're being honest, you have a few minutes of a discrepancy, 5-10 minutes of a delay or lateness, right? And so you lose a cycle. So you're going to get 10 cycles, maybe 11 cycles one day, 10 cycles another day, 11 cycles one day, 10 cycles another day. Regardless of the fact the math is accurate, you're going to make between 3.3 and 3.4% a day or so, which is phenomenal. That's kind of unheard of for such a stable platform. And so this is exactly what goes on. So I threw $100 at it when I first got it, tested the whole user friendly of it. And then I said, let's see, I hit the buttons, made $2, $3, whatever, $1, I don't remember, $1 something. And I said, all right, let's test the withdrawal. So I went to withdraw and boom, immediately it hit my coin wallet. So I was like, wow, this is impressive. So I threw $5,000 at it. And then I got tired of pressing that button and I talked to one of my coder buddies and they coded up a little algorithm there. And so now I have it fully automated. I'm sleeping, I'm not worried about pushing that button because it got exhausting by the 3rd or 4th day. It was just like, okay, I'm losing too much sleep here. So in a week, plus, mind you, I started onboarding some of my team. And in a week, I had the 5,000 back. So I did another withdrawal. Boom. This time it asked me for a facial recognition, which brings me to the point. A lot of the things that I ran into in this platform were just awesome. So I began to review it. So I reviewed the customer service and gave it 5 stars. It was awesome. They were responsive. They were immediate. They had information. They had solutions for your problem. It was quick. It made you feel at home. All right. And then, I went ahead and did the withdrawal. I was like, it was instant. It was like, wow, the deposit was instant and the withdrawal was just as instant. But this was my second withdrawal. So I started to realize, wow, you know what? We're dealing with a decentralized system. It's not like someone's having to approve something on the other end like other companies, which is not such a bad thing. But when you're dealing with centralized and decentralized, it's two different things. When somebody has to approve something on the other end, there's a higher probability that, you know, you're gonna be like not liking it so much when it takes that long or whatever and whatnot and what have you. So when it's decentralized, it means that the whole system is running all fully automated. So these guys are making money on autopilot, and the withdrawals are actually being, when you press it, the only thing is when you're in front of that, there's representatives and you're doing your withdrawal. If you're withdrawing more than, I think, $499, it will ask you for a transaction password, which has to be different than the password that you registered with. If not, then that's on you. But you know, I would advise 2 different passwords. And then there's a phone verification, which leads me to give 5 stars to the security. Okay, you can't withdraw, you can't change your password unless you get that OTP code on your phone. So even if your account is compromised, they're not going to be able to withdraw. You'll get actually the OTP code, and notice it's going to alert you. Okay, somebody's messing with my account. Let me go in, change my password, done deal. But there's no big or real danger. On the other hand, when you do go to withdraw, it obligates you to create, to put your withdrawal your withdrawal address in there, right? So it'll be the deposit address of your external wallet. It will be permanent, guys. The only way you can change that is if you have to talk to customer service, and they are going to make you jump through hoops and hurdles to change it. You have to prove to them why is it such a problem for you to withdraw to that address, and they're going to ask you for additional information. So if someone did, compromise your account, they wouldn't even be able to withdraw because they would have to withdraw to that address. It's not something that they can switch the address to their address and quickly empty out your account. That's not the kind of platform we're dealing with. So I gave them a 5-star in security, in user friendliness, in customer service, in instant deposits and withdrawals and whatnot. So yeah, when you go over, let's just quickly, I'm not going to spend too much time out here. So this is the mine section of the platform where you actually get to, put your name in, nickname and whatnot. The recharge button is to deposit. The withdraw button is to withdraw. When you go under the withdraw, you're going to notice you need a transaction password, right? Right here, the balance, the transaction password. Then you're going to go down here and get a send verification code. But when you enter the amount that's over 499, usually I'm withdrawing like 20K, right? So once you do that, and you ask for that code, you're going to get another blue right here. Here it is, face recognition authentication. So once you put past 499, you're obligated. Now you'll stand in front of this thing and you'll actually take a picture. It'll take a picture of you, snap a picture. It'll ask you, if you're using your PC, it'll activate your webcam. If you're using a mobile, it'll ask you to allow for you to actually take a picture of yourself. And there's another representative on the other side just making sure that that's you. So that was impressive to me because I saw it like twice. I was taking the picture and I scrolled up a little bit and I saw somebody else over there. I thought I was getting hacked. I'm like, what's going on over there? But I then realized there's someone on the other side who's actually approving that is your image. That is the person who is withdrawing. And I saw the person looking like reaching over and comparing almost. So I saw the body language and I was like, oh man, did I just see a representative on the other side, and it was really good to know. So I gave it 5 stars for security. It's an awesome platform. And so over here in the transfer area, you can actually transfer within your network. So if you have a downline and they're connected to you, you can actually transfer money to them as well, which is pretty neat. Of course, high security on that. They're not just going to let you do something out of nothing. So in your personal information area is just if you want to switch your passwords, you can do that. You can modify your login password and your transaction password but it's going to ask you for the OTP, the phone code. You can change your nickname without doing that, and you cannot change the withdrawal address for anything, guys. You gotta definitely go to, the team incomes, of course, is going to just tell you what you've made in commissions in your downline if you referred people, and then you start seeing all of this, and you just keep clicking the more, and you see on what level, and it's just like really infinite when I do this. So I'm just giving you an overview. The invite your friends area is where you can actually go down here and click here to copy, and when it copies your referral link, you can share that with your friends, and it also gives you a chart of how much you're making when you refer others. So when you directly refer one, that is level 1, you make 15%. Level 2 is the people that level 1 refer, that's 10%. And level 3 is the people that level 2 refer, you get 5% commissions on that. So it's really, really cool. And then here you have your recharge records, which is pretty much all your deposits. They show right there. And there you go. My first 100, right? My first 5,000. And then when I got my 5,000 and I withdrew it, part of my story, I threw 20K in there. So altogether, I invested $25,100. And by the way, I have already withdrawn 224, if not 44 already. Okay, so look at the withdrawal amounts: 20, 20, 20, 20, 20, 20, all completed 20, 20, 20. And then over here, 6,100, 12,588, 14,000, 6,000, 5,000. Remember the 5,388 I told you that I withdrew? And the first 101, and so I made $1.14 when I was clicking on that button that day. So I made the 100 withdrawal, the 5,000 withdrawal. Then I started to come in 6,000, 4,000, and then the 12,000 and 6,100, and everything else after that was 20, 20, 20, 20, 20, 20K. Guys, when I would press this button, it would hit my coin wallet like hot pancakes, okay? And then in this last little area, which is called My Team, is where you can actually see the residuals that you're making every 2 hours or whatever, or however long it takes for you to go ahead. You'll see that level 1, so far I've made 168,000, tells you total incomes. And right now it has 614. When you click on your level 2, it'll tell you, I have 517 and I've made 145,000 in my level 2. And then level 3, and it has 434 right now, and I've made 87,000 in my level 3. Okay, now there is another level over here, and there's a lot of controversy about that next level. It's called an infinite level. It pops in and out every once in a while. I don't think I've done a presentation where it's been there, but I've seen it numerous times on my PC, and it comes out all the time when I'm looking at my phone. This particular level requires you to get about 50 people. Now, I say it's controversial because I just spoke to one of my buddies yesterday, and he said that he heard it was 500 people. So 50 or 500 level 1 people, I'm not too sure yet. But even on top of that, which I'm sure I already have, and I still don't have it. So it requires your upline to have it and then authorize you to have it. So my buddy, whose buddy is the millionaire, he's not that big of a networker, so he's just kind of an investor. So he's probably like 10 people away from getting that infinite. And if it is 50 people, we're over here trying to help him out. We'll throw 1 or 2 people to him because we're like leaving money on the table with that 1%. And we're like, hey, man, I want that infinity level soon. And so that's what that's all about with the team, guys. And so nothing. This is very, very user-friendly, like I said before. Let me go back over to the transaction hall area. And I just want to say, man, I'm celebrating with you guys and celebrating and stoked about the fact that my account hit 404,000. And we're here, with you guys sharing it. And I'm super excited. And again, every time I do this, I do a review, and I've always come to the same conclusion. Nothing has changed. I give this platform a solid 5 stars, 5 stars being top for customer service, for user friendliness, for security, for deposits, for withdrawals, for performance, for commissions. I mean, name it, and it's just 5 stars all around. And that's all I can say. So let me show you what putting it on autopilot kind of looks like. So if I put it on autopilot, it'll pick up the residuals first, and then I have it set up with the free version to show everybody how the free version works. But I'm sure David is already offering a service where he has the pro version for all of you. Get with David. He has everything set up really nicely, a really nice thing. And just, you know, he's charging really good price for just automating you all. And so this is what more or less it would look like if you did it. Of course, let me do something over here real quick. Okay, so there it is, and it'll start picking it up. And there it is. It's just going to work all on its own. Boom. See that? It'll wait a few seconds. There it is by itself. Right? Successful receipt. And then this is installed on a VPS server. So this will run 24/7 on a terminal dedicated server if you're doing multiple like David is. And it's completely awesome. I mean, you know, it'll trigger when it needs to trigger, and it'll go, you know, back to hibernation mode when it needs to. The good thing about servers is that they're cloud-based computers, cloud-based desktops. So you can turn your computer off and just monitor it on your mobile. You don't need to leave anything on. You could turn off your phone and not worry about it because this thing is operating on a cloud-based computer, and that's the source of the operation. What you turn on, whether it's your PC to look at it or whether it's your mobile to look at it, is secondary to the fact, guys, okay? And so now that it's picked up level 3, then we just go ahead over here and it'll pick up and automate the transactions, and it'll start putting everything that it accumulated. Now we're at 405,837, and it'll start working on all those funds and putting them to work in the transaction area, like I mentioned. And then it'll trigger again in about 2 hours and a couple of minutes. It'll go ahead and pick up the residuals if you're having commissions, and it'll go ahead and put all your funds in the transaction hall area to do all its arbitraging for 2 hours. And I don't know if I mentioned it before. Yes, your funds are working for about 2 hours, but guess what they're doing in 2 hours? They're also making a lot more money for the company. So the company pays you 0.3%, but guys, they're making like 10 to 15 times more than what they're paying you. And this is how they're able to pay out commissions and to, you know, compensate or incentivize you for the matter. And it's very sustainable. If it wasn't, it would have been long gone. And again, you know, like me and my guys know, we treat this thing like it's going to be over tomorrow and stuff like that. But it's just all about the mentality of the approach. Okay. But because of the longevity that it's had and the strategy of it, because you have different strategies in the crypto world. You have smart contracts, right? You have, well, first of all, you have your regular retail, right? Oh, I'm going to buy Dogecoin, or I'm going to buy BTC is low and soon enough is going to jump up and I'm going to invest in that, or I'm going to invest in LTC or TRX, whatever. That's retailing, right? And then you have mining, you have yield farming, you have things like smart contracts, you have arbitrage, right? You have different departments in the crypto world. And so that's how, that's some of the things that goes on. But this arbitrage is just perfect. It's so sustainable. They're making a lot more money than what they're paying us. And it's still very healthy. What they're paying us is very, very exciting. I mean, where can you find something that makes 3% or more a day and it lasts this long? So arbitrage is very, very good. I mean, it's a little bit higher risk when you're dealing with fluctuating coins, but crypto arbitrage is very lucrative. It's a very lucrative business. And I was actually looking at an article. I don't know if it was yesterday. If I'm not mistaken, David was the one that sent it to me about a guy who became a billionaire doing crypto arbitrage. So it's very, very lucrative business, very legit, very sustainable all around. And so there it is, guys. There's my presentation. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. All I can say is whoever joined today, And for the first time, and you're hearing this for the first time, listen, get with David. All right, register today, and remember to use the wisest approach. This is a very exciting opportunity. We have way more other opportunities, which David would have the pleasure of course, he's already looking into it, and he's going to let every one of his peoples know as well. But the important thing is to look at these things with a right approach, because the reality and full transparency is when you're dealing in these markets, you're dealing in the high risk industry, because with high risk come high reward, but with high rewards there is high risk. So what we do is we do our due diligence, right? And then we only invest what we're willing to risk. We get our initial investment ASAP. We go ahead and make as much money as we can while we're at it. We never put all our eggs in the same basket, and we understand the mentality is we know that nothing lasts forever. So let's ride it out and let's enjoy it. Enjoy the ride. And if the belly's up, we make X, Y, or Z amount of money, and we say, hey, David, what's next, buddy? I'm with you. And that's what we're doing with you and for you. Guys, God bless you. I'm turning it back over to David. David, let me put the stop sharing on here so you guys can take it over again. All right, I think I got it for you.
Okay. Awesome. I'm going to stop the recording here.
All right.